come over here. This is going to simulate us going into the unit. And the very first step you want to do before you go into the unit to start the treatment is to ensure that you have all your gear staged, ready to work. Steamer is plugged in this particular case. Inventoried your tools and start properly cutting on safety before you even go in. As we go into these units to do treatments, you want to assume that these are like hot zones for a biocontaminant, because you literally can take bedbugs home with you. Following the protocols and the safety gear that we tell you will just ensure you take nothing home. Right? And it has to be addressed though. So you go into the outlets, you remove them, vacuum, and do a treatment as needed. So how would you recommend treating an outlet that has power volume? It's power in the outlet. How do you treat an outlet?
You treat an outlet with Pest. Then again, you're going to use Triumph or Mother Earth D or Elton.
I heard Jerry said he likes Phantom aerosol in the outlet.
Phantom aerosol in the outlet, not a good idea.
The electricity won't arc over because it's a spray.
You can make one little hairy head stand right up.
So once we're done with the wall voids, the outlets, then we're going to do a crack and crevice into the facility. What would be our product once you get that?
One other thing before we get off of electricity, the other thing that most bedrooms have are ceiling fixtures. Ceiling fixtures are often a source for bed bugs. Most of them don't have this type of fixture. It's generally something else. You can drop it. You can check in that box. You found something there on the occasion. So, and that also needs to be dusted. But it's,
yeah, they would be bagged and so what type of product do we use for doing a general crack and crevice in the unit? Now that we're done, we want to go to all the baseboards areas.
We said quick knockdown and good residuals.
Anything else? What if you don't have
Pest yet? Now you have.
You don't have it?
Another good choice?
Phantom's going to be in treatment, so because remember, Phantom's label won't allow us to use it in after.
Pre-Corp 2000.
Pre-Corp 2000 is something that could be used, but is not necessarily the best thing. Pre-Corp 2000, you could do along the edges, but I wouldn't recommend it. The problem is, remember that we have wide resistance to pyrethroids. So if you're rolling on a pyrethroid, you may have a Bedbug. You don't know. Not all populations are resistant, but some are. And if you get a resistant one and you're relying on pyrethroids, you're going to come back and it's going to look like you have a menu. By the time you come back, they've repopulated.
What product can you put on the couch? What's best yet? I'm not through this. What? Oh, cedar side. Yes. So as a photo on the slideshow, some of the rooms that you walk into can have quite a bit of clutter on it, right? Just seems like bed bugs, low income, and clutter just goes together. So the very first, what would be the first step when we walk into a room like this to treat an environment like this?
First day,
Yeah, what's the first guess?
go to the bed, take a look within 5 feet.
Bag up the clutter.
What we're going to do is we're going to bag up the clutter. So this is supposedly was prepped by a homeowner. This is what was left behind. So this would be a really nice scenario, right? Because it's fairly clean. But what we're going to do is with our proper safety gear on and with a good bag, this one, if you look through it, it's a little thin, but for training purposes, it's going to say it's a brand new bag. We're going to come in, actually grab another bag. And we want to bag up the things that we cannot treat either with steam, heat, or chemical. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in and inspect the drawers. And clothing that you find, you want it bagged with other clothing. Why would we want to keep, go ahead and bag it. Why would we want to take clothing and keep other clothing? Exactly. We're going to tag this bag later, let the homeowner know that that's washable clothing. We're going to set it aside. Their treatment is to treat it with hot water. So now we have other things in here, like clock, phone, some books. What are we going to do with those things? Bag them in a separate bag from soft materials. So go ahead and bag them up.
And mark them.
Daryl, gently.
Oh, you mean don't break it?
Yeah, don't buy it. So while we're doing this, something else we want to do inside this room is we want to design a staging area to put things once we've treated. So if we were naturally in this room, this is a nice clear spot. So over here, we would have a couple of choices. We want to pre-treat this before we start bringing things over that are clean. So we would either, A, in this environment, take a steamer and do a crack and crevice with the steamer to ensure there's no bugs hiding down here. Or as an alternative, you could take something like cedar side and do a treatment in the exact same way. And then we're going to take over and we're going to stage things as we're doing them in our treatment. Yep. Any questions about the first step? This finishes our preparation, right? So now we're down to what you guys want to see after the fact.
What did you have? You had 3 different bags. You had one for the laundry, or one for the clothing, and then one for the
Electronics?
electronics, and what was the other one?
Books.
Books. Okay.
It basically falls down to two things you want to separate. What can be washed in washing machines, and what needs to be treated with strips. And then when you are treating with strips, just try to keep like items together. So if you have books and electronics, just keep the books with books, electronics, and then label them. And that way if someone needs to go into something, you don't have to go, I have 2 phones, 1 clock. This is electronics, this is books. Keeps people out of your stuff. Okay?
To go back into those bags and strips need to be handled by a licensed PCO.
We understand that, but the customers sometimes still go back in.
How
So
long?
that's why you gotta tell the customer, if you need to get into these, you gotta keep it.
So let's say that the room is 72 degrees. So most rooms are 70 degrees. How long do you think the new vent strip needs to be in the bag just to kill the adults? Just adult vent.
48.
How much?
21 days?
Way too long.
48 hours.
I would probably say that would be likely.
If it was 70 degrees, yeah. But if it's cooler, it may take 4 days.
So what we tell people, what you need to know in your head, give it 3 days in a bag to kill adults. Give it about 14 days in a bag with good temperature to get them all out. Even that's not going to be 100% though, because if they're in the binding of a book, you have book upon book upon book, unless you were coming through and kind of rotating the air in it, you still may get a pocket that's not 100%. So nothing's 100%. But that gets us through the clutter, prepares our site, right? So what tools do you think we're going to bring in? And we're going to start at the hottest spot that we think this room is going to be. And what's the most likely area for the infestation? So what tools are we going to bring in to start treating this bed? One? What else?
Flashlight.
2? Flashlights. I'm going to go without saying on that. What's that? Okay. So when we come in and do with vacuuming is literally written as the very first step, but it's kind of an optional step. And I want to explain that. If we come in, and this is how my mattress actually looks, am I going to take the time and vacuum this very clean scene? No. But I do want my vacuum plugged in. And I want my vacuum within reach and right here. Because you know what? When I get to a certain spot, I may find 20 bed bugs huddled in an area. And I want to vacuum those up before I start steaming them, because steam can either blow them and or cause them to run, and then you start chasing them. Or a vacuum just instantly removes them. So have the vacuum ready. Now if I pulled these sheets off and I was like, woohoo, winner, you know, and I see bed bugs, I'm vacuuming everything thoroughly first. This is because I want to get rid of the bugs. Now, even though I don't see anything here, am I going to steam all the seams and all the cracks and crevices on the bed? Or am I going to let my visual say, I think this is good, I'm moving on to the next piece? So let's say I took this sheet off and we found bed bugs everywhere. We know we're going to vacuum and treat, right? If I took this sheet off and its mattress looks like this, I can't find a bed bug. I'm not going to vacuum, but am I still going to steam everything?
Sure. Yes. There you go.
Yeah, or spray with that.
We're going to steam. Thank you for saying steam. Why would we still steam this environment? Because there could be nymphs and eggs that are very difficult for us to see, and we want to ensure that we kill all cycles of the life cycle.
Very transparent for when the egg comes out.
Exactly. And it's very difficult to see, so we're still going to do the steam treatment through the mattress.